Good afternoon, one and all. Me, Vikas Sharma, on the behalf of BRCM Group of Institutions, it is my pleasure to welcome you all. Thank you each and everyone to join us today. Before starting session, let me share some instructions. Please mute your mic. This will help us to reduce disturbance. You can use chat window to post your questions, comments, or raise hand. We will share an assessment link at the end of session. Fill correct information. On the basis of that, all participants will get e-certificate. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your kind attention. Now I would like to request Dr. Sundar Singh Ji, Principal BRCM College, BRCM Law College, to inaugurate the session by a brief introduction of the speakers and welcome them. Sir.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon to all of you. Vikas, am I your?
Yeah, you are audible, sir.
Audible?
Please carry on.
Oh,
yeah.
Very good afternoon to all of you. I, Dr. Sundar Singh, Principal, BRCM Law.
What of echo is there?
Now okay.
Now it's okay?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Very good afternoon to all of you. I, Dr. Sundar Singh, welcome you all on this webinar session today. First of all, I welcome Honorable Dr. S.K. Sinha ji, Director, BRCM Education Society. I welcome all the participants who are here to attend this, all the faculty members, students, and participants from all around every nook and corner of the country. Intellectual property rights are legal rights governing the use of creation of the human mind. As you know, the intellectual property rights is very important subject for all law students and legal fraternity, which is the need of the hour. We attempt to achieve disseminate information with a view to create awareness in the public through this webinar. I would like to take not much of time, and I would like to invite the today's keynote speaker of the webinar, Mr. Harit Mohan, CEO, Significant Information Solutions LLP, India and USA. He is very intellectual person. He completed his post-graduation from IIT Madras. Research and technology has always been close to his heart. He has also done course of entrepreneurship from the University of Maryland College Park. He has given 12 years of his career solving problems and overcoming hurdles faced by the research companies. He's with us, with his companies, has been a technology and intellectual property rights consultant to over 400 plus businesses globally spread across the 15 countries. He has been a member of IUZ USA, LES USA, CII, TIE, AAMI, MA, and PhD chambers. Last year, he has also appointed as the advisor of the institution's councils at IIT Ropar. He delivered many sessions all around the world. Session at the Washington University, USA, Acceleration Unit, Israel, Global Expo Convention. I welcome him with their valuable words. After that, next we have Vatsala Gupta, is an IP consultant with an experience of 8 years plus in the field of intellectual property rights. She is dominant expert in the electronics and telecommunication from Pune University and has earned a gold medal from the Punjab University for her project. She is employed with 10 plus IEEE certificates in various communication technologies. She is member of Rotary Club, Women Empowerment Association, currently covering healthcare in rural area. She is a Lean Six Sigma certified professional be a part of Indo-US Science and Technology from organized by the University of Iowa, USA. She delivered tales sessions at NITTR, Keswakon, Punjab University, PICT Pune. I welcome to join with this with their valuable words. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Sundar, and I, honestly thank Mr. Vikas as well, who have given this opportunity to come amongst all of you and give this session. So, if everybody is ready, should I go ahead and share my screen, and should we begin with the session?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Could you kindly, okay, so I have the screen sharing right, so I'll just like sharing my screen right now. Kindly confirm once you start seeing it.
So we can see, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. So, so as I said, thank you very much once again formally to invite us for this session. And I'm thankful to BRCM Group of Institutions and all the audience that have joined today. Thank you for a very wonderful introduction as well to all of you. So, just set up the theme. So today we will be basically talking about, IPR and how IPR are very important for legal professionals. As was said in the introduction, IPR is a legal thing. However, it is very important to understand that it is legal thing applied on technical research. So it's just not legal; it's a techno legal that we need to do. And what we would be actually, figuring out is that it all starts with ideation stage first of all. So we have kind of made this presentation in several parts. The first part is ideation part, the second part is the IPR part, and the third part goes into the legal of patent. So that's how we are going to take about it. So I'll discuss about the ideation part, and then I'll hand over my Vatsala, who will talk about the second half of the session in here. So let's start with the ideation part and why it is important for legal professionals to start adopting it. So by definition, when we start with ideation, there are a couple of things we need to take care. I have as mentor of sessions and a lot of companies also as startups who've come in. I remember 8 years back when I was coming into the market for the first time, even I had a question, how to ideate, what should I do new that somebody has done before. So that's the question that is there in almost everybody's mind, and we of course kind of look for it, a possible way to start ideating. So my first recommendation to all who want to ideate is start reading a lot of things. Probably nothing gives you more benefit than reading books, reading blogs, and things like that. Because what happens is books reading or reading habits increase our horizon. It helps us innovate better. It helps us learn what we do not know. So it all starts with an idea, and idea starts with few recommendations that I'm making you. If somebody is not comfortable with books, then web browsing is second thing. You can validate your ideas, whatever you are thinking today. You want to make sure that does it exist or not. Is it possible that somebody has already been working in the same area or not? So web browsing perhaps the second best way you can validate the thoughts that you are getting. Sometimes what happens is that you want to solve a particular problem, but you do not know what solution implied in solving such problems already. So web browsing remains a very important part there, and you can use web browsing techniques to use that. Third important thing that I always recommend is observation. You need to absorb. I have seen this. Lot of us have kind of what should I say? We have decided to just get habitual of the problems that we are facing. We do not kind of try to solve it. Let me give you a simple example today that if I want to charge my mobile phone and I do not have a table nearby, but I still want to charge it. So what we generally do is we try and position the mobile phone on the top of the charger, and we try that. Let's see if it is possible to charge it there. But if it vibrates, what happens is the mobile phone falls down. So that's the problem, right? Now, a solution could be, for example, to develop a hinge on it, to develop some kind of a frame on it, which, phone can lie without the risk of, getting it damaged. There are n number of problems from the time we get up to the time we, go to bed. We encounter those problems, and we wish that somebody else could solve this for us, but we do not pick it. So such observation is where you can pick up or find the ideas, and you need to, then start solving them. Write journals. I think this is what is recommended a lot in scientific field, that and whenever you have some idea, make sure you write it somewhere. What can happen is that right now I'm running across with an idea. If I do not write it, if I do not WhatsApp it, to my friend, if I do not put it on my notepad, by the morning the idea may be gone, and the mind is not able to refresh that idea back. Sometimes we just forgot. Who knows, that could be actually $1 million idea that you have just skipped. So it is very important. People love such ideas, and make sure that you're writing journals as well. One thing I learned late in my life was to socialize a lot. Go outside your comfort zone, talk to people who are like-minded. They may not be your friends, but they may be like-minded people out in force. Maintain social distancing nowadays to when you go for such meetings, or do platforms like the one we are using today. But socialize, talk to people outside your comfort zone, and see how you can learn from their areas of work, and how you can implement some of the strategies that they have used to fit in your system. So that's how you can start ideating. There are some of the tools that can help you ideate it, and there are some tools that can help you do things. Now, very quickly, let's understand that once you get the idea, how do you validate it? How do you think it's a good idea? Should I work upon it? Should I not work upon it? How it would diffuse into the market? So there are n number of such questions that any person who is working with R&D, any person who want to do something big in life with a startup, with a company, would face. So I'll very simple example. Imagine that this lockdown, after 6 months, things are getting back to normal. So I'm sure each of us are stuck in home for so long. Of course, due to commitments, we cannot move out of our homes. We are working from home, but there could be a chance that each of us have that once this lockdown is over, I want to visit to this tourist destination. Let's assume for us Shimla is nearby, or say Kullu Manali is nearby. You can have any hill station in your mind. So when you're discussing the ideas to go to the next hill station, lockdown is over, what you would think is, if you're discussing it in 4 or 5 people, with the help of this graph, what you would get is, within the less time, or maybe within the first 10 minutes of discussion, you would get some very relevant and good suggestions on where you want to go for outing after the lockdown. But then what has happened is, they may not be the novel places, because you've already went there. They could be too much crowded, and you do not want to go there actually. So despite those idea was relevant, they weren't good in quality. However, they may not be the unique places. They not explored places you want to go. And if the discussion continues, you would realize after 30 minutes, 40 minutes, you are getting out of ideas. You are running out of ideas. You do not have one place decided to go, and the energy that you're putting in, is decreasing. And the ideas that are coming are decreasing. It is hitting a turf like this one here. But you invest some more time. If you do not give up on that problem, all of a sudden what you would realize is, you'll get one hill station where you want to go. It may be little far. It is not as much near. You may have some difficulties to reach there, but they are the novel ones, because you have never tried going there. So this is where you could actually try and go. This is where the novel ideas would be coming in, and this is where we could actually go. So that is what the ideation curve look like. When you start this in mind, do not give up too early when you're ideating. The second part of the curve that it shows on the right hand side of the screen is the law of diffusion of innovation. Now imagine that you have actually done the innovation. What's next? How you're going to how do you think that somebody's going to buy that idea? You need market to sell your products. You need buyers. You need clients to sell your products. How to make sure that you get the idea, if especially if it is the first time idea, you're the first one to do it. How you want to make sure that they are the first one to adopt it? So this curve is actually on the law of diffusion of innovation. Again, I'll take a very good example to help you explain this. Recall maybe a decade ago when Flipkart, Amazon came for the first time into the market. How many of us honestly took a risk to buy first time on the Flipkart? We were all in, we were all thinking it could be risky. We may get counterfeit products. We may not get original products. They may charge us money, but they will not deliver us the product. What if the product is broken, etc., etc. By the way, I'm not doing all the scratching, so probably somebody who has admin rights need to look at it. All the arrows, my hands are here. Probably I'm not drawing this. If somebody is doing it on the screen, maybe you need to take the admin rights off. Yeah, thank you. So what would happen is, as Flipkart or as Amazon developed and came into the market, what was happening was there were some people, say amongst 100 in your class, amongst 100 in your friends or 15 your friends, they are who are taking the first risk. So these are called as the the innovators, the risk taker people who wanted and spend their first 1,000 rupees to buy maybe a small set of thing from Flipkart. Now, when they realized that, okay, they got 10% off on the deal, what it was there in read, got the original product, then they gave good feedback to the other people. And then the early adopters in the class came in, and then the next 13.5% actually jumped in and started using this e-commerce websites like Flipkart or Amazon. 2 years, 3 years passed by. Lot of seeing the good experience from these innovators, early adopters start jumping into the market, and all of a sudden Flipkart or Amazon or other Myntra or e-commerce websites occupied or took 50% of the market. This is where the business, they're gonna stay, they are gonna do it in the country, and they can make some money out of it. So whenever you are starting up any innovation, if you want to go into your own businesses, or if you want to make people buy, so you need to remember this cup. This is how the innovation will happen in the society. And then there will be always people who never want to buy from Flipkart. They still think that buying it from retail is the good place, and these are called as laggards. Laggards are the people that most industry do not actually care about. So remaining 84% of the market, once it is covered, that's what most of the innovative companies would actually target at. Again, I will not explain the example next, but then remember when the touchscreen mobile came into the market for the first time, Apple did it, Samsung did it, Nokia was able to do it. What happened to Nokia is known to all. So Apple, for example, or BlackBerry at that time launched some mobile phones. People were very skeptical. Should we buy touchscreen phones or not? What if the water is spilled? What if the screen is broken? My parents were not in did not want me to buy that phone. They were very skeptical what would be the life of such phones. And now my mother also uses, for example, touchscreen phone 7 years 8 years back, when she was not pro touchscreen phone. So they have educated the customer line. They've actually lived through that journey of diffusion curve of innovation. So that's another idea. Now very quickly, then let me help you understand before I hand it over to Vatsala. There are three important things that we need to realize. First is ideation, then come the legal part of it, the IPR, and then the third part is industrialization. Because at the end, one good idea sitting on your workbench has no use unless it can, make money back for you. So that's something that you need to make sure, and right in the middle at the intersection would actually be a successful product. And further that what you would also see is that yeah, so how do you use of an R&D product? So a lot of people who are working and doing R&D today, I'm sorry, it's very irritating that my screen is being scratched by somebody with a marker. I request once again.
You go to view options and stop annotate. Click on stop annotate option.
Okay, let me check that. Probably I do not have the admin rights, but I can try it.
You have, sir.
Do I have? Okay, so
The
yeah.
top of screen, view options.
It has participants, new share, pause share, annotate, remote control, more.
Yeah,
do not have-
annotate में when you will go to annotate, then you can stop annotate to the participant.
In more section. In more section. The fourth one is
got it. I have disabled it.
Now you can erase these lines.
or restart presentation.
Okay, can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So sorry for that halt. What I was suggesting was how do we make sure that we need to use the output of the R&D, that is with us, that we need to kind of make sure that we are using the output of the R&D in the best possible manner. The first thing that we need to make sure is, and the worst thing that our professors have told, unfortunately, or we have done when I was in college as well, was to put it in a thesis or to put it in a 30-page journal, print it with colored printer and submit it, get my 8 out of 10 grades or 80% of the 90% of the marks, and then finish and forget about it. So that is not at all the recommended way of doing and using the hard-earned money. Call Google was, for example, in innovation. Somebody did it in a summer internship project, and now we know where the Google stands. So summer internship projects, practicals that professors or colleges allow need to be taken much more seriously than we are taking it in India if we need to, kind of make an innovative country. So use it in journals. The next possible way is you could actually put it in newspapers. Some people want to put it on YouTube. They want to do a how-to videos. Some want to put it on social media. Other people write books about it. Some people go and do blogs on it. What you should never do is just do not put it and submit it to the professors for the ranking for your grade, and then it's over from there. Spend that time that way. Earn money out of, some people commercialize their ideas. They go to industries and start commercializing using the proper IPR channel like licensing. There are laws that allows that. And of course you can patent the product that we will be talking about. So if I have to ask you one thing, so amongst all these things that you're seeing on your screen, what do you think should be the first thing that you should do before making sure your R&D output is being set? So maybe you can put that answer in your chat window, that amongst all the options on your screen, which is the first and the foremost way you should use for using, for example, the R&D output. Now, if you say I should first put a research paper, you are wrong. If you think I should first pay, colleges does that and put it on newspapers, you are wrong. The first thing that you should always do is put a patent for it. Then next you decide, because it should not be disclosed to the public. All of the other things, if you have used your R&D and publish it in papers or use it elsewhere, you are giving it for free and money out of it. You're not earning money out of it. However, if you put a patent for it, you can sue others from not using it or illegally using it. You can ask them to pay you royalties amount. So patent remains the first step for doing it. Okay. And as I said, Vatsala will be sharing with details on it. Just one last slide before I hand it over to her. So just to summarize, if I trace the ideation or innovation on high impact ideas versus time, so what do you think about ideas which are making high impact on us, and then it takes more time as well? So ideas which are high impact, but it's going to take more time. They are good for long term. Do not put them on priority as of now. Then there are ideas which are low impact ideas, okay, and are going to take more time as well. Just forget it. Just do not invest your time and money on those ideas. Then there are ideas which are of course taking less time, but their impact is either not much, so they're not on priority. The best that you want to work are which are less time taking right now as you're launching off on your businesses or R&D projects, and they're going to make high impact in whatever way. So these are the ideas. You should always go for those ideas and invest more money in it. So Vatsala, maybe you can share your screen. I'll just hand it over to you from, and I'll mute it.
Thank Thank you, Harit. I'll just start sharing my screen from now, here on. So
Yep.
just- I think I do not have the rights to share my screen. I think you will have to, Harit, if you can just share the screen from your end.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Can
you
you
can
ask?
Because
also. You can
Yeah.
share.
I think now I am able to
Okay.
share it. So, is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, before we start, intellectual property rights, so an important word rights. So, what are basically intellectual property rights? So, I'll continue with the same example
Ma'am,
of
before
Sony.
start, you also disable that annotation option.
Okay.
Go to more, Vatsla. Go to more,
Okay.
and in the
Okay.
more option, you will see the stopping annotation rights for audience.
I have also declined that option. So, I hope now the screen is still visible.
Yeah, we can see you.
Is my screen visible right now?
No, no, we can just see you right now. I think you need to and when you're sharing the screen, go to more option
Okay.
while you're sharing the screen. Yeah. Yeah, now probably you can go to more from the there should be a bar at the top.
Yeah, I could see the bar at that time, but right now I am not able to see any kind of a bar. Which
Okay,
is
let's continue if that happens. Probably
I'll just start. Yeah, right. I'll just start in case we have any. I'll just do it again. I'll
okay,
iterate the process again.
sure.
So, before we start, we intellectual property rights. What are basically rights are? So something which you can possess. So intellectual property could be anything. So I'll just start with the example of Apple and Samsung. I think it's a very famous case study that everyone is aware of. That Apple, was rewarded with 535 uh, millions of money for suing Samsung's design. So I'll move on to the next important slide. That is, what are the ingredients of research? I have an icon on my screen that says my rights have been removed.
Could you try it again?
Yeah, I have to decline or I have to
Yeah, you
approve
just
that
decline it.
option.
I think even I was getting it, so don't worry.
Okay. So now, before getting into an IPR or getting rights over something, we need to have a good research. So what could be the key ingredients of a good research? Now, first is a novelty. So anything which has something new in it. So I'll just give you an example of an Adidas shoes. They had a small, a kind of a tapered end over their laces. Had that been there, it would be very difficult for us to get the lace tied to the shoes. So you won't imagine that, but it is patented. So it was novel at that point of time. So you need to have good research over the existing problems. So you need to have the you need to identify the problems that are pre-existing, and then you can come up with some kind of a solution to overcome it. Now next is the viability. How is it viable in the coming market? So you have a wide variety of market with flooded with products. So if you come up with a product which is already existing, it will not be viable. So you need to have a viable solution to whatever you are trying to come up with. Say for example, today I come up with a book. The book should be viable. I should already be aware of the existing competition. Say I come up with mother care. Now the market is flooded with mother care books. So I need to know what is the viability, and that would cover the next important point, that is the market readiness. You need to be ready for the market. What is market? What is the upcoming demand? Now we are into a COVID crisis. The mask would be something which would be which would help us to be market ready and help us to read the market. Currently we need a system which would help us to overcome this crisis. Maybe we need more ventilators. So recently we have lot of diffusion and implementation. So diffusion mass already pre. Now how are we using such mass? How are we using such masks in the current market by diffusing with the older versions of it? So that is diffusion and implementation. Now experimentation. So, when we talk in terms of communication, communication is nothing but all about experimentation. How much you can experiment with the coming, we have 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G. The more you experiment, the more viable solution you get. Now, the biggest problem with communication is the bandwidth which is available to us. If the researchers do not experiment, they will not be able to come up with after 4G to 5G. So next is the application. Just imagine a life without communication, without the mobile phone was an application or a discovery which help us easily communicate with each other. And now over one phone call, lot of things are done. Next is facing up the competition. So when we have a handset which everybody is using, we have multiple brands. So we also have to know what is the competition or the existing competition in the market. Say for example, we are not aware of what Apple is selling, what Samsung is selling. So we would not be able to buy, say, OnePlus. OnePlus is something at the same price, but giving us a good battery backup. So this is facing up the competition. Apple has lot of battery consumption. Same goes with Samsung. They have good displays. Displays use lot of batteries. So this was another, phase that OnePlus had to think of something out of the box to save the battery. So it was facing up the competition. So next part is the well-defined problem statement. Sometimes what happens is we do not know where is the problem. Once we are not able to identify where is the problem, we'll not be able to find a solution to it. Mostly IPR deals with finding a problem and addressing the solutions to it. For example, from moving to dialer pad to touch screen. There was a problem with the dialer pad. After a while, we used to unable to press the digital buttons of it, and there used to be, lot of noise while typing or texting. So then we switched to touch screen, which helped us, which was more, viable, or it was easy, and had removed the redundant pad, and the cell phones could become more compatible. So I'll just move on to the next part. This is a small brief. What is a patent? What is a trademark? Patent are just like the exclusive rights. Say if you have a property, you have rights over that property. Patent is able to give you those rights. If anybody trespasses our property, we can sue them. So if anybody is trespassing our intellectual property, we can again sue them. So this is just about patents. Now we move on to trademarks. Trademarks as for goods and services, like we all we drink Coke, so there's a kind of a trademark associated with the with Coke. So that's for goods and services. Then we move on to the copyright. So we read a lot of novels. So every novel or every movie which is coming, they have a copyright, and the people like Salman Khan had come up with few of the movies from Chetan Bhagat's work. So he had to ask, or he had to take copyrights from Chetan Bhagat to come up with something. Now we have the geographical indicators. So recently saffron got a geographical indicator, and it yields from Kashmir. So that's another add-on, that's an advantage, that the particular area is represented with a particular good. Say saffron from Kashmir, we all know now it has got the status of a geographical indicator. Now I move on to the next part, that is an industrial design. So what are industrial designs? Industrial designs could be anything, maybe any kind of, say we have drones these days. So every drone has a peculiar design, peculiar exercise they are working in manufacturing sector. So some of the manufacturer, I'll name one for you, that is Toyota, has come up with a kind of drills that they are doing for the drones, and it is very specific for the part of their industrial designs. So these are just a glance of the IP for you. I'll move on to my next slide. That is a small exercise. Now, if you can see a small symbol on my screen, so you can that window to identify if it's a copyright, it's a patent, it's a trademark. So so for the beginning, I'll give you, it's a kind of a trademark. It's for McDonald's. So it uses an M as a trademark. So move on to the next part. Now, if you can use your chat window to answer this query, which part, what do you think it is? It's a patent or a trademark or a copyright?
I think we can probably open the chats. They can write it there. So we want you to guess the IPR form that are there. You can reply on chat, which I've already told the answer first. For second answer, if you could probably answer it. Like, can you show the second?
Yeah, sure. So it's basically a patent. So we
So
have the next symbol displayed over our screen. So if you can somebody tell me, or you can use your chat window to answer, it would be which part of IPR?
Chat box is like sending some bad messages.
so you need to guess amongst will this book fall under trademarks, patents, copyrights, or what would fall under?
Copyright.
Copyright.
Yeah.
Maybe you can kindly paste it on chat. The answer is right, of course. Can we go for the next one, Nusrat?
Yeah, so it's a. So where do you think this would fit into?
Patent.
Chat is disabled actually.
Okay, okay. That's
Okay, okay.
It's trade secret, yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay. So now I have another quick exercise for you. So which would this fall into?
Design, industrial design.
It's a patent basically. This would fall into.
Design.
right. So it can go to
Yeah, it
design
can fall into design patents
as well.
basically. Yeah. Now it's painting.
Copyright.
Okay, correct. So it falls under copyright. So we have a small exercise again. So what would this fall into? It's a basket with some kind of a design over it.
Patent.
Design
Yeah,
patent.
yeah, right. It will fall under design patents. So next, what we have is again.
Trademark.
Trademark.
Yes,
Industrial
it will
design.
fall.
Trademark, yeah.
Design.
Just you have to
GI.
rethink it over again.
GI.
Yeah, it's a GI. Correct. So it's a,
Design patent.
yeah, it could be anything actually. Basically, it could fall under design as well as utility patent. So I'll just move on to how you can safeguard your IP. So there are various ways where save. So first is by why we need to actually safeguard our IP, selling it. So if we are an individual owner and we could discover something, so what we can do is we can actually sell our IP to the firms which are actually looking up for some problem or solutions. So this is why we need to safeguard our IP, because we can sell your IP and have get some money out of it. Now is commercialization. Say if we are already into a firm where lot of process can be done. Say if we have a very good process, say for example we use laptops every day, so if we are able to come up with a laptop which has low latency rate, so we can commercialize that and we can actually get a lot of returns out of it. Another important is licensing. See, basically, one of the reason Nokia survived was lot of patent licenses that the Chinese company had to buy from it. It had a very strong IPR portfolio, IP portfolio. So the Chinese market had to buy lot of patent rights from Nokia to survive the competition. So that is why getting your invention patented is very important. So other is the royalty. See, for example, you already have have the base patent over your so what you can do is somebody has to make something over it. That person can always has to pay you some kind of royalty. Like for example, if you are working with any of the company, like for example a laptop company, and you have a patent over the battery of a laptop. A laptop cannot work without a battery. So you can have, every other company which is using making a laptop with a battery has to take some licensing, right? Or other companies have to pay royalty to you to come up with their products into the market. Then is recognition. So one important aspect is like already mentioned by Harit, basically when we were doing our grads or undergrads, what we used to make thesis. Had we been more aware of the IPR, we could have gone for a patent at that time. So it would have given us a lot of recognition, and we could be right now in a position to sell our patent or get it licensed, or maybe we would be getting royalty out of our patent right now. So that's kind of a recognition an IPR could give us. Then is economic growth. Economic growth, it's very important. Say if you come up with some kind of a solution or a kind of a system that is currently helping any now we have a COVID crisis here right now. So if any of the companies is able to design a very low cost ventilator systems which could be supplied at a readily rate to the hospitals, it could be more than an economic growth to the right now. So that is why IP is more very important, to safeguard your IP, and you can have a lot of benefits of safeguarding your IP. So I'll just move on to the next slide. That is the patent laws. Now I think I'm addressing to a lot of law students right now. So every you say constitution rights, we have rights to stay in a nation. So patent or the IPR do also have laws that govern it. So the most important, the Indian, I'll discuss a little brief about the Indian patent law. So what we have, patent looks like something like this. It's a legal document where you have the date, on which date you thought of an invention. The date when you thought of taking a patent, the address. I have a humble request. If you could just please put your speakers on mute button so that I can continue the presentation. Now is patent research. Now, how do you conduct a patent research? Now, understanding the requirement completely. So, how to, before starting any kind of studies or any kind of anything, you need to understand what the invention is exactly about. Is it about a book or is it about a mobile phone? So basic is the understanding of the patent. We need to be very clear about the inventions, that we need to understand the invention. Then we have to conduct few searches on it, like the basic searches. The basic searches would involve nothing published in the public. So if anything is not published in the public domain, it can go for a patent. Then there's short listing of references. So after we have done all the jargon, we need to shortlist the patents which are close to the invention. And lastly, but not the least, is the relevant prior art. After the understanding, we come up with certain arts which may be close to the invention, or which may be a little off the beat. So you which would give us a clear view: would the patent be granted or will it not be granted? Now the important actually can be patented. So what all things can we actually patent? So first is the hardware implementation. So anything like you have a robot, anything with a hardware implementation can be patented. A process can be patented. Any process which market, which is helping us in making the things in a better way. So we have AI these days. AI with the hardware implementation is definitely patentable. Compositions, like we have chemical compositions, drug compositions, they can always be patentable. These are discoveries. And which cannot be patentable. So which cannot be patentable are any living organism. Say if you say I can get my pet patented. Your pet cannot be patented. It's a living organisms. Nuclear weapons, nobody can actually get up into nuclear weapons, atomic bombs, or mass destruction weapons. Nothing like that. And the natural calamities like earthquake, tides, anything. You cannot get natural phenomenon patented. But yeah, a process of finding a natural phenomenon or the occurrence can always be patented. So now I'll just summarize what all we have gone through the IP summary of IP flow. First is validate the idea and patent. So once your idea is good to go, we have conducted enough searches to identify whether it is eligible for patent, or is there anything pre-existing to your technology. Once we are done with that, we can go to the patent office, like maybe the Indian patent office or the US patent office or any of the patent jurisdiction of your preference, and get a patent filed. There's a span after say 18 months, a patent gets published. After the publish, the office action will start. The office action is basically a legal professional comes into play, because office drafting a office action, understanding the communication between the examiner and the applicant of the patent is where the legal professionals come into play, where they are capable of writing or drafting a patent granted. So this is the legal aspect of a patent. And then once your patent is granted, you can get the patent evaluated. You can sell your patent. Again, the same phenomenon, you can sell, commercialize, get it licensed, or you can do various kind of things with the patent.
Right. Maybe Vatsala, we have 5 minutes probably before we take Q&A. We can do the last exercise on the brands before we sum up. And I think in the light of Atmanirbharta that we have today, it will be kind of important for the audience as well. So this is a very quick exercise, for all of you. So Vatsala will be taking one-on-one. We just want you to kind of guess the company, and then you should guess the country that owning the brand. Of course, manufacturing could be happening in India, but who's the parent company basically? Which country are they situated? So any guesses? First of all, we'll just do this one slide. So which company does the first product belongs to? Can anybody?
Procter and Gamble.
Procter and Gamble. Any other guesses? Procter and Gamble. So it's not the correct answer, unfortunately. And can we have the countries that these brands are owned by? For example,
can we have questions?
Promax India.
No, we'll do one by one. Let's not skip the crows. But okay, so the first country guess was US. Vatla, can you show the answers, please? Okay. Lifebuoy.
Unilever.
Okay. And any country guesses?
Maybe Britain.
Yeah. All right. So the point is, Vatla probably have given us the answers before we guess. So that's okay. So so the idea is, not just putting a word like Hindustan in front of Unilever never made Unilever an Indian company. And you've seen, Mercedes-Benz being sold as Bharat Benz in India. So that doesn't make Benz an Indian company either. Of course, they would have companies registered in India as well, but at the end of the day, they are not.
Sir, a question.
Can you play the next question, please, Vatsala? Okay. So so the next product was Lux. It is also by Hindustan and Unilever. Can you guess Excel? So we are playing the brands that we are using for quite some time now. I don't know, maybe since the time we were born, maybe our parents were also using. Some of the brands are as old as that. Could you guess, probably for Surf, any you would like to take a guess on Surf Excel?
Hindustan Unilever it is also.
Okay, so Hindustan Unilever as well, again a British company. Can you guess for Ren? Which company does Ren belongs to? Any guesses for Ren? Because I am sure we are using Ren for ages now.
It is also, it may be
Unilever.
Unilever as well. So can you play the answers? Okay. And could you guess the next one, Pen?
Ratomac.
Okay, any other guesses?
Remonds.
Reynolds.
Okay, so Reynolds is right, but can you get the country now? So can you?
Yeah.
It's US.
Okay, can you show the answer? All right. How about Micromax?
Indian company.
It's in India.
Now,
India.
let's take a minute here and think of what we were emphasizing in the last few days also. How many of us in the audience today, honestly, have a Micromax right now and they're using it? If the answer is 1, 2, 3, maximum out of 150 participants probably, or 126 participants that we have today, that's the state of affair of where we are posed right now. And probably that's the question. I do not want to politicize the entire presentation, but that's the question, that if there are Indian options available, do we actually rely on, or do we want to actually spend the money? There could be any number of reasons for it, not high, but that's the question that we want to leave it. One last slide on Fair and Lovely. So what can you guess the company for Fair and Lovely?
Again, I think it's Hindustan Unilever.
Okay, Hindustan Unilever.
I know. Sir, I know the country of this company. I know. Sir, this cream was not used by George Floyd. If he might have used this cream, then he might. उसका मर्डर नहीं होता सर, अगर वो गोरा होता तो प्लीज.
Right. No, I think ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. Of course.
सर हिपोक्रेट है सर इंडिया के अंदर, तो इतनी सारे वो करीना कपूर, कटरीना कपूर इसके ऐड करती हैं फेयर एंड लवली के. बोलो सर, यूके में तो बहुत ज्यादा है. यूके में गेटोस बने हुए हैं, गेटोस जहाँ पर ब्लैक पीपल रहते हैं. आर यू नो अबाउट दैट शिट कॉल्ड गेटोस?
Right.
Sir, sir, do you know about ghettos? Sir, let me tell you a quick fact. Winston Churchill was one of the biggest racists of that country. I was researching upon this whole state, like this state of misguidance and discretion. So I got to know about it, that the ghettos which are present in United.
Okay, probably I cannot hear you well, but I think I will really appreciate. I understand your concern, and even we kind of condemn what has happened. However, it will be really great for the purpose of this particular presentation if we can ask what was the subject of the talk today. That's my request, and as I said, I do.
Yeah, sir. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for addressing it.
Thank you so much.
Apart from that, I had a question that if we have brands like this, which are having patented, which have already taken patent and IP, shouldn't there be a moderation committee?
Vasla, probably we can end the screen sharing since we are in Q&A.
If there would be a moderation committee,
Vasla, can we end the screen sharing?
So I have already ended the screen sharing.
Now we can still see the screen, perhaps. Yeah. In the meantime, I'll take the question. Go ahead. You were saying what? See, patents. Okay. So let it put this way. And of course, I'll just give you the answer so that we can take more, queries. But I'll give you an answer. The way patents work is like this. It's a simple thing. You have an innovative technology. Patent system does not, what should I say? Does not work in a way that it doesn't work on emotions somehow. So what it works is, if you have something novel, you prove it is normal, examiners check it from Indian Patent Office. If they think it is novel, they grant it. Once it is granted, it is for the companies for them to commercialize it. Now there could be n number of other regulations that could be, you know, coming into picture. Data that Indian companies are probably not doing much. A lot of foreign companies are getting patented in India, which in a way is also making our innovation less, you know, in say. But then there is another school of thought that we need to compete. You know, keep it as we are not no less than any other country's person. We have huge, you know, good number of intelligent people, intellectual people in India. So we are ready to compete. We should compete with them, and we should beat the numbers in the innovation and technology area as well. Regarding committees and all, probably there could be, there could be not. But for IP, that's how, as I said, it works. So can we take, you know, maybe 2-3 more questions before we end it up? So if there are any questions, if it is, if that is possible to be
just last
allowed.
question. Just last question.
No, I think to be fair, let's take somebody else's question first, and then we can come back to you.
Hello. How will you differentiate between human rights and IPR?
Okay.
How do you differentiate between human rights? Would you like to give any context to it? Probably because as Vatsala was telling, one thing that patent laws make me very sure is the things which are there for mass destruction, weapons of mass destruction, which against are of course against the human rights, are not allowed even in the system. Other than thing, you know, if it has industrial application, if it helps you, if it eases your life, if it is a technology which has good use, they can be patented. Can we take next question?
Hello, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
What's the difference between assignment and licensing?
Vatsala, would you like to take that?
Okay. Assignment and licensing. Assignment could be, say, if I am an inventor or got a sponsorer, like say I am getting my patent sponsored from Signicent. So assignment, Signicent could assign, I am assigning Signicent to take a part. So my assignee becomes Signicent. I remain the inventor. And licensing. Licensing is I am getting a third party into picture. The third party could be anybody which is helping me to, I have now, there's another situation, a product comes into a picture and my patent or I have an intellectual right over suing that person. So that person to me to license the information to him so that he can freely sell his product.
So yeah, just to add to that, so what you need to do is, for example, due to any reasons, if you have an invention, if you have a patent and you do not have ability, so as Vatsala was telling, you can actually hire a third party contract manufacturer or some other company who would manufacture it on your behalf. However, they are going to pay you, they are gonna pay you the royalty amount or the licensing amount. There could exclusive license or a non-exclusive license. While in exclusive license, it will just go to one company. Of course, the fee that you would charge to that company would be more. If you are going for non-exclusive licensing, you can give the same patent rights to multiple companies. However, logically, you would charge a little less fee, giving it to more companies, and of course, your revenue would increase. So I hope that answers your question.
So I think we are going out of the time.
Yeah.
So if somebody have questions, more questions, they can share in chat box or they can mail to us and we will revert them as soon as possible. Now our director sir is also with us. So I would like to invite him, request him to Group Director Dr. S.K. Sinha to share his views on education scenario current and sir. Sir, you are not audible. So voice is not coming. Okay, I think there is some problem. Now it's time to conclude with vote of thanks. I am honored and lucky to have the opportunity to give a vote of thanks on this occasion. The way in which both the speakers explained today's topic was extraordinary. Thank you, sir and ma'am, for being part of your busy schedule and give us opportunity to share about IPR, copyrights, patents, trademarks, and trade secrets. Now, I would like to thank Dr. S.K. Sinha, our group director, Principal Law College, Dr. Sundar Singh ji, Principal Engineering College, Dr. Principal Engineering College, Degree College, Dr. S.K. Mishra, for their kind support and encouragement. I must not forget to thank Santosh ji, Sanjay ji, Durgesh ji, and Suparna ma'am for their valuable support. Finally, I want to thank all participants for making this event a success. With this statement, I conclude today's session. Thank you. We are sharing one link. Participants are requested to fill that link so we can give your certificates. Requested you to fill all the correct details.